Hello everyone, in this video I'm gonna show you how to create a new boot partition on Linux, format it and move your existing boot files safely. We're creating a new partition on the disk for boot. On this disk we are formatted with the XFS file system as an original partition and copy content of old boot to new boot that we will create a new partition. Then we update etc fstab and then reinstall GRUB. But before you do that, make sure you have a backup, guys, your file system, and give me a like and thumbs up. Be careful running make label MS-DOS or working with can completely erase all data on this disk. If you have some files or maybe something like this, you completely erase all files in this disk. Always double check that you are using a correct disk. Let's show what is the command. You have this disk, new disk. Also, let's do some checks before we starting. We have to check if we're using UEFI or BIOS. You can check this option with this command. I using BIOS. If you're using UEFI, you have to another tutorial for it. Keep attention on it. So now when you have a backup and you check it all your options, what you have, let's start it with command parted only create a new partition table and a small partition for boot. This is usually about 1 GB size as original boot partition. Okay, let's do some command. We now created a new label for our table of partition for BIOS MBR. Let's check it. Disk label type DOS, as you can see, not GPT, DOS. Let's create first partition from 1 MB to 1000 MB. It's approximately 1 GB in size, and the option optimal, choose a right aligning. So now we have a right size of our partition. So the next step is we have to formatting a new partition as XFS file system. It using command make fs xfs. Right? We have XFS file system on this partition and generate a new UID for this partition. Now we copy all files from boot into new partition with command cp. If you have a rsync utility, you can use it, but I use just cp. But before we have to create a new folder, boot new in mnt, right? And mount your new partition with file system xfs to this folder with command mount. And now we have existing folder with file system xfs, as you can see. Now we copy all the files from the current boot into new partition. This makes a permission link are preserved. With command cp key a -a boot to new mnt boot new. Now we have all files in new boot partition. Okay, now we edit etc fstab file to tell Linux to always mount this partition as a boot during startup. How we know what we have to do this now? Let's make command belkid cuid for new partition that use boot, new boot partition. Just copy, go to etc fstab file for provisioning. When you start your system, it mount a partition. Okay, let's save. So now let's do command mount that mount a new boot partition. New folder. Now we have boot mounted to new disk NVMe N2, right? Partition 1. And finally, we reinstall GRUB on the disk and generate the GRUB configuration file so the system can boot correctly. Let's do two commands specific for MBR and Red Hat system. Set up your GRUB to MBR installation and generate config of GRUB. That's it. Now you have dedicated boot partition. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.